Episode 2 starts with Al noticing all the different vegetables provided by the market. There's cabbage, potato, there's everything here. Fal asks if he's only interested in the food. He says, well, that's because he's a farmer. But she brings up that he keeps saying that. He then notices a stall and orders 2 skewers of green peppers and meat, and asks, by the way, is it okay for a princess to be hanging out here? Won't she cause a sensation at the palace? She tells him that her maid Irby is being her substitute, so it's fine. Besides, it's also her duty to know about the common people's life. He says, but in his eyes, she's merely hanging around. She adds, it's also her duty to know what the common people eat. She brings him to one of the several existing adventurers' guilds. He tells her that just to be clear, he doesn't want to be an adventurer. She cuts him off saying, you want to be a farmer, right? I get it. He says, but she's given him land, so he must return the favor. She reminds him that her identity must be kept a secret, so call her Ophelia for now. He points out that she's sure to get discovered, but she tells him that she's wearing a hairpin that has deception magic to help cover her up. She won't be exposed. He enters the guild and is greeted by some guy who says, you must be the rumored. Al says, there's rumors about me? The guy grabs him and brings him to the reception for new members, and tells Helen that he is here to register. As Al is introducing himself, his stomach grumbles, so she takes him into another room and gives him a l'orange pie. She grabs his form, and according to it, his job is farmer. Why does he want to be an adventurer? He tells her that someone gave him some farmland on the premise that he must help kill monsters. His main job is still a farmer, but he intends to be an adventurer on the side. As they continue talking, the party from episode 1 notices him and recognizes him as the one who beat the S-rank horse dragon with just 1 hit, which gets the attention of everyone. Al tells him that he's just a farmer. He only threw a carrot at it. Blue Hair says that he's impressive for a farmer. Helen mentions that if he ever needs help, he can turn to them. Al introduces himself. They do the same. The bald guy is named Jake, Blue Hair is Lamia, and the archer is Luke. He tells Al that they've been waiting for a brave adventurer like him. Lamia goes up to Al and says they should fight the monsters for their country. He tells her that he just wants to be a farmer for the rest of his life. She says, okay, still, let's fight monsters together. And they head out to go get a drink. Al thinks to himself that he feels like he's getting farther away from his farm life. Al mentions that he'd like to try a quest. She tells him that he's just started at G rank, so he can't take on difficult quests. Al says G rank. She explains that the adventurers are ranked from G to SS. That being said, SS rank is actually exclusive for the heroes, so the rank should be from G to S, and that when he reaches C and B rank, he'll be able to take on quests alone. He's quite capable, so maybe he'll be promoted to S rank soon. Al laughs it off and thinks to himself that he doesn't want to be promoted to S rank. It'll be too eye-catching. She suggests a quest that requires him to collect 10 milks from Grim Forest. Milks are mainly used to make healing potions. It's a necessity for adventurers. The monsters in the forest and precautions are listed on it as well. She notices what he's wearing and mentions that it's really dangerous to go to a place full of monsters in that getup. He tells her that he's too poor to buy equipment. She says in that case, and offers him a robe. It's infused with magic, and it can moderately increase his defense. He tries to refuse, but she's not taking no for an answer. She tells him it's okay. This robe has been set aside for a long time. Al notices that she's staring at him, and asks if she's alright. She tells him she's fine. She just finds him looking a bit familiar. But never mind that. She's looking forward to his performance as an adventurer. Al thinks, sure enough, he's getting farther away from the farm life. As he and Ophelia leaves, he mentions, sure enough, her identity didn't get exposed. But he can't possibly take a princess to the Grim Forest, where monsters are, so this is where they say goodbye. She leaves and tells him she'll meet him tomorrow. As he's picking the herb, he notices something on the ground, and sees that it's a scale. But there should be no scaly monsters nearby. It only mentions pixies, griffins, and orcs, and wonders what the red words say. Orcs breed quickly. They tend to attack their own species and other human-form creatures. He says thank goodness he's a man. In addition, there are male and female orcs, so men had better be careful too. The orc behind him leaps towards him and is doing something to him, but Jake uses full power swing to take down the orc. He notices Al and helps him up. Lamia and Luke catch up to them and notice Al as well. Luke mentions that he got attacked by a female orc on his first day. What bad luck. Al agrees, then shows them the scale from earlier and asks if they know what it is. Jake tells him that should be a scale that is seldom dropped by a mysterious monster in the Grim Forest recently. Some say it's a black dragon scale, but the black dragon only dwell at the rivers and the highlands. People have only found the scales, not the dragon itself though. Lumia tells him that it seems to be of good quality. He may get a good price for it. Jake mentions that it's getting dark, so they better return to the town, and ask if he's finished with his quest. Alan tells him not yet, but before he finishes, the ground quakes. They're frozen in place as the black dragon walks by them. Al tries to look at its status, but he's unable to see anything as it's glitching out. After that, Helen is waking up from a nightmare. As she goes into work, an older lady asks if she's alright. She doesn't look well. Helen tells her that she seems to have a memory loss again. She can't remember what happened after she got home yesterday. The lady tells her that her condition must have gotten worse. She should go and see a doctor. Al walks in and says that he has something urgent to report. She mentions that it looks serious, so she'll take him to meet the guildmaster. They report that the black dragon appeared in the Grim Forest. Jake brings up that Al saw its status. Its attack power seems to be 230,000. It could easily destroy their country. It seems to be Ouroboros, the evil dragon, and asks if they know anything about it. The guildmaster says impossible. How can it appear here? Helen begins to feel ill after the mention of the black dragon. The guildmaster tells her that she should go get some rest, but she tells them that she wants to hear about this. Do they have any other information? They say nothing important, and the evil dragon disappeared soon after passing by them. Jake suggests that they should block off the Grim Forest for now. Al then shows them the scale he found in the forest and places it on the table. Helen sees it and has a flashback to where she and some kid are running away from something. She's fallen behind, so he goes to help her, but is killed by the dragon. This causes Helen to pass out on the floor. As Al is waiting to see how she is, the older lady introduces herself as Wong Lin, Helen's foster mother, and notices the robe he's wearing. She's a bit surprised that Helen gave it to him, and tells him that she has no memories from her childhood. All she remembered was her name, and the only thing she had was that robe. Lin found her lying by the river 15 years ago. So far, she can't remember her past at all. Maybe it has something to do with the black dragon. Al tells her that he'll look into this. Maybe he can figure something out. He'll go to the library and ask around. He wants to help. She tells him wait a minute, and then brings him some healing potions. As Al walks out, a messenger tells him that he has a letter for him. He notices that it's from his mom. He hasn't told her about moving to the royal capital. How did she know? The messenger says, well, my job is done, then heads out. He then comes back and introduces himself as Lix, and heads out again. In the library, Al can't find any useful clues. He remembers that Helen was found 15 years ago, so he should check the damage reports from then. But the librarian tells him that he has no access to it. The damage report is only accessible to people of certain ranks. Al asks if she can bend the rules for him. She tells him to go away, or she'll sue him. Fowles then enters and says that she has access to it. The librarian freaks out. Al then asks why is she here. She tells him that when she got to the guild, she was told to come to the library. She asks the librarian if she can allow him access to the report with her permission. She says of course. As they enter, Fowles asks what did he want to look into. They have a small conversation, and I notice their lips don't move at all. She grabs a book and asks if he's determined to be an adventurer now. He says nope, someone's in trouble. He can't leave her alone. He then reads that 15 years ago, Honodu village was exterminated. A merchant visited the village for business and found that it was utterly destroyed and in ruins. He investigated the scales he found and concluded that the scales might belong to the evil dragon, which should have been annihilated long ago. It said that the dragon feeds on destruction and despair. It's an eternal existence. However, according to Neutralis Historia, Its body perished in a battle against its only enemy, Mirage the Holy Dragon. Al repeats Honoru Village. It's too late to go now. He'll have to take a look tomorrow. Fal mentions that she's going to go as well. As they enter the village, it's in total ruins. As he's deciding where to look, he hears a voice calling out to him. He follows it and ends up at a grave, and starts talking to the ghost, but Fal's doesn't see anything. The ghost says that his name is Le. He's been waiting for someone who can hear him. Then the episode ends. Some personal thoughts. I'm honestly impressed that they're keeping this story so tight. In shows like these, they tend to skip around a lot, but it's only the second episode, so they could still do that. Al mentioned that his attack power wasn't even close to the evil dragons, but something is going to happen with this kid that is going to make his power shoot up. He's going to get like a legendary hoe or something and take it down, if I had to guess. I thought it was kind of funny that their fantasy food is just normal fruits and vegetables, but with an extra letter in front of them. I don't have too much to say about it, but I'm looking forward to next week. But that's about it. So yeah.